That's awesome.
It is.
And we're live.
Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Modelo lovers. Today, on week 4 of the Dirt Report podcast, we have special guest, the CR6 admin, the head of DMs, Tango Mango Down. How are you today, Mr. Tango?
I am doing good, JM. It is amazing to be on the show with you guys. I think we're going to have some fun showing off the seating that you guys have and break down a couple of the matchups that occurred. So this is going to be fun in here. This is going to be fun here tonight.
It
Factual,
is.
factual.
How are you
Mr.
doing
writes
today?
the rule book that no one reads.
I am alive. I'm wondering if Mr. Miggs in the building.
Yo, check, check. Mic check,
We
mic
just
check.
we just don't get him. No, I'm
No.
doing fine here. I'm just here to watch the show here. So
So, Megs, do we have any Modelos this week?
We should have some Modelos because I had a lot on fucking Saturday. I was very hungover on Sunday.
Alright, so let's get into the power rankings.
for the
Of this
man,
week.
the myth, the legend, the snail's here.
Oh, and we have the fucking 10-man god, Snail.
Just got instant peak by swap pops.
Oh, good night.
Yeah, that's a retirement
Sweet
call
dreams,
right there.
bud.
Dude,
Yeah.
instant kill. Didn't even get to move.
That's not what we wanted.
That's not the one we want.
That's not the one we wanted.
Mr. Tango is ahead of production. He is handling all the streams this past weekend for CR6 for all the pre-playoff games, all the end of group stage matches, which production has been handling quite well, and I do appreciate all the streams.
Yes, all the fun back-to-back streams, making it easy for us to VOD review and do the power rankings.
All the back end VOD review, get the esports, the collegiate scene out there, get a little bit of marketing going.
Yup.
You know, so we gotta get the sponsorship with Modelo going. That's some
Yeah,
way,
that's
cool.
some way.
Some way,
For
somehow.
21 and up students, you know, people of age.
Whoa. Canadians can have it at 19. We're good.
And,
Or a little bit
and
more
19,
mature.
19 in Canada, except Quebec.
Yeah, it's 18. Or more mature. But
How's it
Shall we
going,
get into-
Mr. Snail? How was the 10 mans? How has your week been going?
The week's been all right. Had a tough time making this week's ranking, so
it was
quite
a
positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of those matches were close. A lot of them were blowouts, so it kind of affected how we were.
some upsets.
Yeah, it was the changing the direction of the rankings this week.
Yeah,
All right.
really messed with it.
Since I know all the people are here for the juicy details of the rankings this week, let's not beat
Let's
around
start
the
with
bush no more.
predictions.
Let's start with predictions. I like that idea. Let's
Make them stay.
let's tease them a bit. Let's tease them a bit.
All right.
Bro, big one I want to point out: Virginia Tech beating UDEM.
That's what I'm saying, man.
If I don't see Virginia Tech here moving, I am surprised.
Dude, Virginia Tech still ain't even close to the power rankings, but
Oof.
All right, I got the rankings on the screen. Starting with the kings of all collegiate siege at the top. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Wow.
Even if Surma retires. I heard
and IMAC gets banned.
I heard Surma's going to underwater basket weaving.
Oh, dude, I heard he's crazy.
I
Down
heard
there.
I heard he's all pro.
All right. Well, we got the ones, the only, the UTSA killers, Texas Tech.
Yo, Texas Tech with their new pickup Crip, kind of nasty. We had no clue how to approach them on theme park. Like they completely went throw everything out the window and just gun, and that they are legit, no cap. They theme park, what we consider to be one of our better maps, they totally scrapped it to the fucking ground. They are the real deal. No fucking cap in there whatsoever. That Crip kid, and they're only gonna get better too, because they've only been together I think for a week and some days, so they're only gonna get better.
Yeah, Cryptic, ex-coach of Nobu when they qualified for CL, and was called the super sub when he played in T3, as he is a really good player himself.
Yes.
What's your take on this Tango, on the Tech boys?
No, the Tech boys are some. This team is special. They're you headlined all the players there, but you can't forget about Bait.
Yes, we
Uh,
can.
f- nah, 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 dude. That Bait is the man that keeps that team together.
He's the
Uh,
glue.
he is the glue, and he keeps that team firing on all cylinders. And it's really entertaining to see those guys compete in every day. And they got their assignments there. They win their matches, and they compete well against top competition. And so it helps to have all that T3 experience to be able to compete against all of the top teams here in collegiate.
I will say, from Bates' perspective, I know his T3 team disbanded, but as saw this a couple hours ago, he already got a new team and they were looking for a fifth. So it looks like this man is on making some money moves. But he is probably one of the more active T3 players in the collegiate scene
Hmm.
and doing with T3 and collegiate. But and
What
then you got the T3 stars of Buck and Cancun.
Yeah.
absolute fraggers right there. What team did Bate get onto?
He was on
I didn't
Dallas
see that.
Vendetta, but he didn't say the announcement of the team. But he just posted that he went from LFT to LFP real quick.
Bro, that's good. That's always good to see there. So
Facts.
The real question is, Buck and Can are no longer uh Buck and Can. They are now Buck is now Gassy Gamer and Can is now Fatal Fister. We got some good alliterations in that UTD team. Or not UTD,
Hey,
TTU, and they are honestly that just makes it much more scary for the opponent. I would
hey,
not want to play Gassy Gamer.
when they got into the lobby, man, I will say, those were the only two I could expect to do something like that. But hey, we need the content.
We
We need
do.
we,
We
we
need
need
more
we need the
content like
we need
that.
the personalities in the scene.
That is
kind
very,
of
very true.
stray facts right there. Gassy Gama and Fatal Fister. Like I love Ken Coop before. Those two names right there. I don't know. I don't know if you want me to if those strike fear into you, but those are some quality names right there, boys.
That
Yeah,
is very
They
quality.
knocked the socks off of some people.
I think
Especially
Bait and
UTSA
Crip.
this week.
Oh, that is true. I think Bait and Crip need a name change as well as Espen. Get some more alliteration names out there.
Yeah.
Make their team a little bit more linguistic, and that just back up their play with that. I see Akron GTU matchup, and
Ooh.
I give TTU the name just on the names. They
Yeah.
give them the edge.
Oh yeah. You got everyone's gonna go against once you see those names.
Yeah.
Immediate fear.
Like you think IMAT's gonna be able to kill a gassy gamer? I don't think so. No chance.
Gonna get fatally fisted on the way down.
I guess yeah. Don't be rotating.
Don't drop the soap, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So Georgia losing their number 2 spot this week, going down to the 4th one. What do we think about that, guys?
Well, they have some team problems. Casanova going into basically retirement. Uh, Current rumor is that the team is done. So,
Mhm.
you know, don't really know what they're gonna do in when it comes time for them to play their playoff game. But uh, I mean, it makes sense from the drop, and if they don't figure out their team problems, they'll probably drop a lot more before the end of
Yeah.
the season. And that's pretty unfortunate to hear. They were a solid team. They played a real tough match against that. They kind of put them up in the top four, kind of put them on the map,
Mhm.
and it just kind of sucks to see them, falling.
It does. It does very suck. But then we got Purdue staying the same, keep their momentum building, but not really going anywhere. What did they come second in their? They came first.
They came first in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did come first. But there it was a close game though. Actually, the UWW wasn't a big of a blowout. That whole Midwest is kind of like you guys are all kind of like a top team besides CGC.
Yeah, UIC they need some work.
Yeah.
But if you had Iowa State get in there too, that division would be really loaded, and that's what you're going to be seeing in the
Mhm.
upcoming Face It season as well. Those four teams fighting for that number one spot.
Yeah.
Uh, all four are probably big playoff favorites, and it's gonna be very, 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 very cool to see that matchup go down.
hmm And then we got Michigan Tech coming up after their win over Michigan State.
I think Michigan Tech is getting better as they're playing more teams.
Yeah.
I think they were in the fucking shit end of the stick, playing it only in CEA invite, that they didn't get to expand or like develop their play style against more teams, and they were only stuck against that small batch of teams.
hmm
So Michigan Tech is kind of on the up because now they're playing more teams in different play styles and more like I will say the CR6 teams are way more aggressive than the CEA teams.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what Michigan Tech went their overall. I think they went 1-2 because they took the loss to Georgia and then lost to Kennesaw State.
Yes. They're
2
one.
days
They were
ago.
1-2 with a -1 round differential.
Yep.
Yeah, they're a solid team. They have
Yeah.
CJ and Red, really good players, and then the rest of them kind of pick up the slack. It's gonna be interesting when they see they're playing Whitewater in this upcoming week. Whitewater's team pretty heavily built around a good fragging roster.
Yeah.
So that the other three players on Michigan Tech are going to either need to step it up, or they're going to have to basically build strats that try to funnel people towards Red and CJ. If they hope to keep that one close, as UWW's got some good gunners on that team.
hmm
Yeah, CJ kind of nasty.
Yeah.
I watched him
they are
play.
nasty.
He's pretty nasty.
All right. Illinois State. Snail, how do you guys feel about your last week? That loss.
Well, yeah,
Did you win? Did you win? I know
we
you
won
won.
and lost.
Yeah,
last
you
week.
won. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's looking
we
rough.
played UIC. That was just pretty easy 2-0. We took it easy on them because
Mhm.
we could tell they weren't having a very good time in invite, so we didn't exactly have to go crazy on them
Pound 'em.
because we knew we had the round differential. We had the advantage over Whitewater. We knew if we beat Purdue, we had the advantage over them, so we kind of just did whatever. Just made sure that we still won and played Purdue in a tight match that looked good for us for a while, but we had some map ban flaws for sure. The game was still really close, and we play them. If we get by this week, we play them again. So gonna have to really watch for that.
Mhm.
Map ban flaws. How do you have map ban flaws there, Snail?
Well, you see,
He's bad.
sometimes your team tries to be too big brain, and then
Uh-huh.
you get built up in this big brain energy, and then you just end up picking your worst map.
That's a
So
mood.
big brain turns to small brain action right there.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, but this time it wasn't just one player. It was all four of us were just kind of hopped on this train of dumb thoughts
Next
and
time you should
ran
listen to
into
that fifth person.
yeah, our fifth person wasn't in the call, so we couldn't really blame it on them. So
Oof.
That's
basically, they were scot free in the loss. Oh, that's what we can say.
No, but them Purdue boys, they're a balanced team. Like I feel like there's no one that really shines above the others.
No.
There's like
It's a
Mila
little
as a name, but I feel like they're all well balanced around each other. That they all shine together.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a quality team right there. I mean, they have all the pieces that you need in a contender. Like we were talking about Tech there, how they have two fraggers and then three following pieces. Purdue, they have the fraggers, they got the support pieces, they got the flex. Whatever is needed of them, they can do, and we've seen it in the matches that we broadcasted. It doesn't matter if they're up. They're in a 2v4 or they're in a 4v2. They are always able to finish off those rounds and get the wins that they're needed that they need to get. So
hmm Yeah, they definitely are a well-rounded team, and with I think more strats and some structure, I think they'll be probably one of the top teams. They'll continue to be one of the top teams. As you see now, them going 3-0 with a decent round differential. 19 is what, the third highest? Yeah, third highest in
Yeah.
open.
or
And then we have
an invite.
yeah, an invite. And then you have D1s, D only, the losers, UTSA dropping, of course.
Yeah,
But only by one spot.
Yeah, we holding the L,
Yeah,
kind of shamelessly. That honestly, I think that's the first time we've ever been 7-0'd on a map before.
Yikes.
Like, we've played Akron every semester except this past one, and had never been 7-0'd by them on a map. That this 7-0 was brutal. Like, it hit different. But Tech is the real deal. Going into it, we thought we were evenly matched going into it, but they caught us off guard because we thought theme park was one of our better choices to play on, and yeah, they scrapped that one to the ground. We made it closer on Clubhouse, but the deficit was still too far. So even if we won Clubhouse, they would have got sides on map 3, and map 3 is a toss up because it's Villa. Villa's
Yeah.
defender sided, so it would have been a rough get go.
Hmm.
But we look to bounce back this upcoming week. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We play A&M next week, which we've already played once, and it was a 3-map series. So
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
so I expect
Yeah.
another 3-map brawl with the boys from C-Stat.
What was the score in that TAMU game?
2-1. It was 7-4, or it was 4-7, 7-4, 7-2.
All right, so close one right there. That will be a
That'd
fun
be
matchup to
cool.
see.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, A&M is actually starting to scrim and play the game again. So
So it'll be a
should show
brutal.
improvement.
Yeah, it'll be a brutal beatdown again.
Yeah, you need Ton to make sure he shows up. He's on his big boy pants.
Yeah, the A&M boys playing some 10-mans with me.
Potawaka is the nastiest gunner in all the 10-mans.
That's
yeah,
facts.
that's facts. He's
Straight
crazy.
facts.
Those boys are something else. I'll tell you. They're I'd like to hear their comms during a match. It's quite interesting. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those comms are built different, as the kids would say.
Hmm. And then you got
We got Texas.
C.
We got Texas A&M at 9, so
They moved up.
they went up because they smoked their main rivals, which is UT.
Yeah, but UT lost everyone though.
Yeah.
Yeah, UT
They are.
is a shell of what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big slide I'd say is when you're at if you're at 14, where Whitewater is right now, and you win, you basically just slide into the top 10 because of the fact that Iowa State, Ohio State aren't playing, and UNCC got moved back due to their loss, and it just kind of becomes a massive slide for you, and you kind of just end up where right at the cusp of where all the other teams that are already ranked above you kind of land, and then you kind of get at that number 9 slot. Seems like 9 and 10's been kind of unlucky
Yeah.
throughout this ranking. So good luck to Texas A&M and CSUOB as they try to fill the danger slots of 9 and 10. But with that being said, move on to CSUOB, team playing without their star player Strikeon for most of the entire winter season, based on stats from what they've shown from CR6, and going to be interesting to see if Strikeon can play in their playoff matches because I feel like he's a major piece to their team, and he really changes the game for him. He basically leads that team in.
He's
on there
pretty nasty from what I remember from last semester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely a game changer on that team.
Yeah, because last semester I remember it was him and Quang that were the main entries, and then it was like
Yep.
Uzi in the back, and I don't remember the other two.
Yeah. And then moving on to the highest ranked open team in the ranking history, goes to Oklahoma State. You know, their open streak has not exactly been easy. I'll tell you that. For being an open team, they played week 1. They played Texas Tech B. I don't really know what happened there, but they played a Texas Dallas team in week 2. That team also ranked. They're showing out to be really really good. New team entering in on this season. They look great on paper. They just have to work it in a little bit, and they'll become a really strong team. But Oklahoma State playing their rival Oklahoma, and also having them take them to 3 maps. But Oklahoma State's kind of shown that resiliency, and on map 3 against Oklahoma, pure power, just absolutely dominating them to basically easily take that game away, to give them the win there. And they play I believe a Baylor team this week, but
I,
Ole
ex-
Miss.
forfeit.
I expect a 2-0. If they're
I'm
playing,
pretty sure Baylor already forfeit.
they play Ole
They
Miss.
play Ole Miss.
Oh,
Oh, it's Ole Miss.
that
Ole
should
Miss,
still
my
be
bad.
Yeah.
a 2-0.
Still be a pretty
Yeah.
good win by them. I mean, that Gulf Coast division in Open is one of the most stacked divisions I think we've seen. Because Oklahoma State, very quality, if not premier team. As we
Mhm.
see UTD making their appearance for the first time on these rankings, and don't count out that Oklahoma squad yet.
No.
They took the loss against Oklahoma State, but they were but the thing is they lost a very close game to that UT Dallas team. So that
Mhm.
sorry, I'm looking at the wrong week. They haven't played yet, but most likely in the future they will play them, and so that could be a match to see if that Oklahoma roster can make it into this top 25.
That OU team has developed from the other day when I dropped the hot take saying that they still hadn't improved enough. They did take one map off of Oklahoma State on Clubhouse, so that they have shown signs of improvement from what they were in the fall. And I think
Yeah.
they're just gonna keep grinding, but they also got to start playing better teams too, because I feel in that Gulf Coast Open it's those three teams: UTD, OK State, and OU, and then it's a major drop off to the next batch of teams.
Yo, you talking shit on my JV team down there?
Hey
Nope.
They haven't won a game,
Sorry,
bro.
what JV team is down there? I don't even see anything. Are they
Illinois
even?
State JV. We're in the
Do they
Gulf
get any
Coast.
round wins?
Hey, we got one map win on Baylor week 1. Don't
Wow.
count us out.
One
We're
map
crazy.
win.
Our JV team's crazy.
For the
Don't doubt
Case
them out.
Western team that doesn't exist could beat your JV team that exists.
Hey, hey,
But
hey. When we
Mig
put two
Oklahoma
could beat your
RC subs
JV
on
team.
there, oh, get out of here.
Oklahoma State's also suffering from the same issue as 9 and 10, with the teams that aren't playing kind of shoves teams into the top 10
Yeah.
top area. If the other teams were playing, like if this was like a normal semester, maybe Oklahoma State probably be around the 14, 15 area if everyone was playing standardly. But since they're not playing, can't place teams that aren't playing because we're not seeing if they're improving or degrading.
Yeah.
But they are probably the best team in that Gulf Coast Open group for sure.
100%.
And then moving over to the 12 and 13, just skip over those basically. Iowa State roster change, so they're having to get used to their new roster, and then Ohio State having, I believe it's 3 roster changes.
Oh wow.
Having to get
Two?
used to that new roster. Two?
Two.
Okay, 2 roster change. Having to get used to that new roster. Their JV team was absolutely phenomenal in the regular season of CR6 fall.
Mhm.
Unlucky first round loss to Northeastern, but they definitely got some good players off of that roster, and that would bring us over to number 14 ranked Whitewater.
Yeah. They-
Well, yeah,
What did they win?
they
They
played
lost.
Purdue this week. They lost to Purdue, a close game. They lost 15 to 11,
11.
so that's a
Very close
7-5
game.
8-6. And
Wow.
you know, you'd think losing wouldn't make you move up in the rankings, but UWW is a team that kind of got ranked low because they didn't really play a lot of like quality teams. They weren't really proven very well. They played the University of Toledo team. They beat them, but then lost to Akron almost immediately, which kind of hurt them a little bit. They just haven't been that seen too much with their new roster. And
Mhm.
as you know, times progressed over, they're showing that they are definitely a capable top 15 team. And I guarantee you, in playoffs, they're gonna show up in a big way.
I agree. They're definitely one of the upcoming teams that people should be watching out on. Not taken lightly.
I know that the Week 4 matchup with UWW and Michigan Tech, that's going to be a matchup to watch there, because those are two teams that are eyeing in CR6 to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
So both of those teams are on the bubble here, and so we're going to be in for a treat this week and next week as those teams duke it out there.
Yep. And then 15 Alabama Huntsville, as JMBeast has called them now.
Oh, apparently.
Yeah,
The
I mean it's fine.
rebrand.
Yeah, they're gonna rebrand to Huntsville because I guess that's their favorite map, and so they sit where they are. Nothing really going on with that team. UNCC at 16, they lost to GCU in in
Relegations.
the yeah, really weird CRCA relegation match that they had to play, and
That no one knows what's going on.
yeah, they looked decent for one map against Grand Canyon, and then the next map it looked like disaster for them. So they did end up dropping 4 spots, and we're gonna have to wait for them to come back in the spring season, and then that will bring us up to number 17, Kennesaw State.
Had a big loss to Georgia this week, 14-9. That's probably one of the last games we're
And
gonna see from that Georgia roster too.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Georgia. I think they played with a sub that match too. I think Casanova didn't play that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
and
definitely.
current roster rumors say that Smack is no longer playing for the team, and he is one of the best players in collegiate, and he absolutely dominates for that team. And while with him not playing, I think they're going to fall a little bit more here, but they might be able to scrounge it together and you know kind of make their comeback. But it's going to take a lot of practice from their end, losing a guy like Smack.
It is definitely something that it's hard losing a top end player like that. Having to find a replacement and then role changes and getting them up to speed.
Yep. And then the next highest ranked open team, actually unranked team coming in hot. Simon Frazier, half that team, 3 of those players, ex pro league players from I believe it was the North, and then they turned to Livid.
Yes.
Correct.
And now that those 3 players got dropped, they're back to playing in college. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that roster adapts. Having those 3 PL players all being on the same team for so long, having the chemistry.
And
They
coming back
took
with
out
some
Akron.
experience too.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
that,
experience.
It's
Yeah.
probably the
that pro
biggest
league
thing.
experience is gonna be huge.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a team. That's a team that's gone deep in
College.
almost every season of college within recent memory.
Yeah.
They got second, I think, to Akron maybe in season 3, and maybe got into the final
Didn't they?
4.
they beat
Did
Akron
they?
in season 4,
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna say they beat
there. You
Akron
go.
once.
and then lost
Uh,
to CSULB in the finals there.
Yeah.
that's correct. And so that Simon Fraser, if that team can find a rhythm, that team can easily rocket up these rankings and could become a force to be reckoned with in the open playoffs and hopefully in Premier this spring.
Yeah, and also if I'm correct, I believe that's Akron's biggest rival as well.
Yeah,
Correct.
they're
So
one of the only teams Akron's lost to.
yeah, so I mean that definitely kind of upped the stakes for Akron and Saint Simon Fraser, because Simon Fraser is coming for Akron. They're in there to beat them, and we're gonna have to see if Simon Fraser makes invite for next season, because if they do, that's gonna be a very that West Division is starting to look a lot better, and it already is for the Face It with Simon Fraser coming back. So then going over to Boston, a team that played Northeastern this week, beat them pretty handily in a 2-0 matchup. Reports were that the match was not even close. So really commanding win for Boston.
What's the score?
They've been historically good,
Six,
and
14-6 was the score
They
versus
they usually
Northeastern.
perform well in group stages and early Swiss brackets.
Yeah.
yeah, they kind of fall off down the line a little bit as they start to face harder teams.
They used to
But
have a CL player. They used to have Rav play on that roster.
yeah, their team definitely looking, you know, it's the same team that they've had for a while now. So their team's definitely got the chemistry. They got the practice. They have the experience. They're definitely going to make a deep run in the open bracket, and it's going to be interesting if they can try to squeeze into that the CR6 invite for the spring. And then another new team, one of the hotter, actually on top of the open division, I believe, is Kent State.
Yeah, with
Yep.
RD.
Yeah, RD wise, a little bit, untested. You could say the roster's been having dominant wins though, all group stage, and they got a match against Kettering this week. So we're
What's
gonna
a
have to really
Kettering
think.
dog?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even know what a
Yeah.
Kettering is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you work me through this ranking here, Snail or Miggs? Why is Kent up here? All the when Kettering has been historically being better teams, and some of the Kent State's teams have been rather uh, softer competition than the rest.
Well, Kettering just really hasn't had a performance that is like
Has been
wow.
eye
Memorable.
popping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas Kent State is just consistently week in week out just been absolutely murdering teams.
And you
Even
usually
though
those last 8 spots are like very questionable depending on who are people playing in their groups.
yeah, Buck a little bit disappointed in the chat.
Sorry,
The
bud.
problem is, Bucka, you're just not playing teams that are,
Good.
known at all. Yeah, or good. Uh, it's not hard to 14 to 4 a team that is all silvers and plays the game once a
Because
week.
just how Kent State's in 20, UDEM or fucking Colorado could move up to 20 as well.
Yeah, like that.
That whole cluster is all kind of on the equal playing ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we will see this week. Kent State gonna have to prove their power against Kettering. If Kettering wins that, obviously Kettering is gonna get ranked, and just have to really watch out for that game, as hopefully that will get streamed by CR6. And then we move on to University of Montreal. Um, we really hating on them right now at the CR6 power rankings, as we picked them to clean sweep to beat Virginia Tech, and somehow they lose.
on they lost Cafe.
Yeah, they lost on Cafe. Smajo, what is going on? Why? Like the only map that Akron's afraid of a team on, probably Cafe for the UDEM boys. They love that map, and they lost on it, and that kind of makes me really disappointed in them, and really sad because kind of wish they didn't screw over my predictions, and that was my only one wrong last week, and just truly an unfortunate game. But yeah, any other trash talk you want to lay on UDEM right now? I'll say it now, or forever hold your peace.
They need to tighten up, figure out what's going on with that roster because
Y'all need to get your shit together.
they were historically decent.
Yeah.
They were in
They're
at
top.
least always top 15, 20.
Yeah.
And
They're always up there.
losing to the
Top
worst
15.
losing to the worst team in invite as of last week. Or going into last
I don't
week,
know.
VTech was the worst
I
team,
think
tied with CGC.
UIC. Yeah.
Yeah.
UIC is the worst. They're statistically the worst team,
Yep. And I think
and then Texas is next.
that killed UDEM, and that put them in a rough
Yeah.
position. And now we're gonna move on to Colorado, another team that we're running. We're scratching our heads a bit. They had Blonde and Alexis K playing against Boise State, so that is basically a very very strong roster that Colorado puts forward in invite games, and Boise State beat them.
What?
So
what?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, they
2-1.
did.
Boise
This-
State beat Colorado this week.
Yep. 16 to 15.
Yep. And that just Colorado team that already did not look very strong got absolutely obliterated by Grand Canyon the week before. They did end up winning against Cal, but Cal is the worst team in that division, so it doesn't really give them much credit. But getting beat down by Boise State really hurt them. Put Boise State up in the they're just outside the top 25 right now. They were actually they are 25. That really rocketed them up. Showed that there is one player on that Boise State team. I'm forgetting his name, but he has some high quality talent. And if he keeps that up, Boise State looks like a team that could be breaking into the top 20. But Colorado not looking too hot right now, and they got to get that roster figured out as soon as possible.
You got T3 standout blonde. Alexis is their regular second entry kind of flex player, and then you got Arctic, Heckle, and Olvin. They're veteran players that they should not be losing those.
No, they should not. Especially
Yep.
to a team like Boise State.
And then moving on to Northern Arizona, a team that got a pretty unlucky matchup for them against Simon Fraser. Simon Fraser was not playing around, but NAU did play him pretty strong on the first map. Nuke going absolutely nuclear. I believe he dropped 19 or 18 against the Simon Fraser squad, and he was giving them all sorts of problems during that match, and that made for them to actually kind of be in that game, even though they kind of lost it on the second map. It was a good performance out of them, and it did drop them down a little bit, but Northern Arizona still looks as strong as ever, and they're going to probably try to recuperate and find a way to beat out Simon Fraser because they got to deal with Simon Fraser and Grand Canyon to win that Western Division if they go to when they go over to face it.
Yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be a
That
great division to watch.
yeah, West just right there is with Simon Fraser just making the return is just
Yeah.
boosts up all that comp level in the West that we thought they were lacking in the fall.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely will boost them up.
And then moving over to the 24 seed, people were waiting for this team to come into the top 25. They had a great performance against Oklahoma State, and they won last week against. They got a forfeit over Baylor. That's what I was talking about there.
Yeah.
On paper, these guys probably have a top 10 team, uh, maybe top 12 or 14, give or take. But that squad is absolutely amazing for a college team, first year team. You usually don't get that. They got Bate the 3.8 KD. I think he broke a CR6 record. From University of Texas, Dallas's B team, and then you got Luke Kobe, Sugg, edgy name, also known as Kevin, and they got Classic, and that is giving, them,
And Sugg,
yeah,
Lukobi,
Yeah.
Bait, yeah.
yeah, that's giving them. That's giving a huge advantage in open. Oklahoma State had to see that team firsthand, have some practice. Texas Dallas is a team that they want to win. They want to grind. They want to be a top 10 team. They want to show that they're a force to be reckoned with in that basically the great division of Texas.
Mhm.
And just be one of those top teams in the conversation. And if they keep grinding, they're definitely going to get it done. A lot of those players have to learn how to play comp, and
Yeah.
they are learning, and they're learning fast, and they're putting out results. But they're gonna have a huge test this week against Oklahoma, another team that's showing out to be really good. They have more experience than Texas Dallas, but I think Texas Dallas has the edge in terms of pure talent on that department. But it's going to be a hell of a match.
I will say on UTD's part, they made the right choice of actually doing winter's fucking season. If they didn't do winter season, shit would be rough for the spring semester for them trying to like catch up. So them doing winter's kind of like a fast track for say because
Yeah.
they're learning their mistakes against kind of easier teams, so they can kind of tighten up ship quick. And so when they start playing better teams, they won't make the same mistakes. They'll make new mistakes, but it will be against better competition. So they'll get all the bad habits out early.
And then we got finally Boise State at 25, big win over Colorado, and I believe that they lost to CSULB in a tight affair, 15-11. So a score similar to UWW, showing that they can hang with the big boys, and that earned them the number 25 spot on this list. And well, that would conclude the top 25 rankings for week 4.
Next week we should be looking into a separate section covering the top open teams that are going to be heading into playoffs based on seeds and matchups. So next week there'll be like an additional section on that part, because there's teams like OU, like Simon Fraser, that they're making names for themselves either from previous or for being new. So OU and UTD based on who they match up with, and then we could follow along, see where their path takes them from the open playoffs to either relegations or high open seed going into spring. Good momentum.
Yeah, we're definitely really excited for these open playoffs as invite spots are up for grabs. UTD hungry for one. I know Oklahoma State thought they should have had one this semester. They're both going to be fighting to get those spots, as there are, I believe, 4 up for grabs. And it's going to make for a really, really huge open playoffs.
I'm actually more excited for open than I am for invite.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the invite playoffs, it's like we kind of know where teams are positioned.
Yeah.
You do have Akron in the playoffs too, so it's not like an anyone can win sort of thing. But anything can happen in Siege. But in the invite, it's kind of like a higher level.
I heard Surma doesn't run Moss. Time for an easy protest.
Oh yeah, Surma not running Moss would cause a lot of problems. But these teams have all played each other before. They know each other really well. The quality of the games will be high, as we're going to see in the predictions, just on the closeness of them. But it's just you kind of know who's going to win at this point. They're so heavily followed, but you never know. Teams can pull off an upset. But Open's kind of more of a untested teams taking on tested teams and
kind of a free for all.
Yeah, all sort of that. And Oklahoma State, they're obviously going to defend their title, so they can try to go back to back.
All right, going into the predictions. We got predictions on screen. We got each member of the committee took their own part, went ahead and dropped a prediction for every match that's this next step of invite playoffs before we get into the true bracket where the top 5 seeds got placed. So this is a mini bracket before we get into the main bracket.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just start at the top. Number 6 seed Illinois State plays Illinois is spelled wrong once again. Thank you, JMBeast. Against
Me rushing.
St. Clair.
Canadian
No, you're the Illinois.
Canadian education system at its finest.
Yeah. And then St. Clair Saints, number 15 seed. You know, Illinois State Jam plays on St. Clair. I'll see you in the game. That's about all I
Good
gotta
luck,
say
good
for
luck.
it. Yeah, can't wait till you find out who our coach is. But
Doesn't really matter. I'll get Pang as
Yeah.
my coach for the week.
yeah, I guess, bro. I guess.
Bruh.
Maybe
Jake-
it'll save you. Maybe it won't. Who knows?
Jake being the
JM will
only
get an
one to
SI
take his
coach.
team, man. Hey, Jake,
What?
Jake trying to silence the other members of the committee, man. Only one to pick his team.
Well, you have to. I'm
After
Bro,
those
you know
picks
what?
last week, he needs to make a comeback. You know, he's got to take some risks.
No. You know what? I'm gonna go with my man JM here on this I-Stay versus St. Clair matchup here. To go, boys. Snail, I love you, but you gotta have a strap book behind going into these matches. And do you know what JM has? JM has a SI qualifying coach. Do you have that at I-State?
You
I don't think so.
their coach, right?
Hey, and you know what? It not full coach, but people talk with people. JM's getting all the quality information.
From
And
what
so
else?
I'm gonna pick my man to get the 2-1 win here.
I don't know
So-
if we'd have any
Ooh,
quality
ooh.
games this season, bro.
You're-
That's some high phrase you got there for that St. Clair side.
Thank
But
you,
yeah,
Mr.
we
Tango.
are a good team at getting first rounded, so you never know.
Straight facts.
Listen, we took down a giant last semester in the first spot, so you never know.
Yeah, you
Cough, cough,
played
PTSD. Cough.
you
You're
basically
gonna-
just played SA because there's no TUN there, so just SA.
SA.
Yeah.
It's all
That's so
it's all
funny.
right. Let St. Clair play us now. Ton kind of found his duo, and it's kind of been scary.
Oh, time you found Rose.
Hey, Ton kind of found his duo, and it's kind of looking nice. It's making for the back end kind of play musical chairs. And the
Yeah.
Who'd you pick up, Niggs?
Rose, he was a T3 player on a team called Rep. We kind of had him stashed on our bench because he didn't have really time to practice with us in the fall because we picked him up right before, I want to say the 2 days before roster lock, so he didn't have
There
much
you
time to
go.
play with us. And then now going into the winter into spring, he's got more time to scrim with us. It's looking nice.
Got a little pocket pick right there. I
Oh,
like
You
it.
Moving
know,
on
you
to-
know, Tech made it. Tech was brutal on him, but it's all right. We bounced back from those.
No, moving on to the states matchup, the Kennesaw State against Boise State. Kennesaw likely playing without their star Smack, but you know Kennesaw State boys will prevail. Is what the general prediction says. Even though Boise showing that they're a strong team, they could take that one off Kennesaw State, and that game's probably gonna be the closest of all of them, I think.
Based on the 2-1s from the community, that's going to be a really close match. It could,
I
it
think
could
all of these are gonna be
with,
close.
with being 2-1s, it could go either way.
Mhm.
Yep. And then we're looking at a Texas A&M versus.
Hold on. We gotta get Tango's prediction for each one of these. So Tango.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
Tango,
yeah.
talk.
Like I'm looking at the stats here. I'm trying to see, just trying to compare what we got on Boise, because I'm thinking I'm leaning towards Boise here, because you said it yourself. Like if Kennesaw State doesn't have Smack there, like that's the main engine of that team. They got people to work around him and the like. They got Mango, I think. But if they're missing Smack here, that's not looking good. So I'm going to say it, if Smack doesn't play, 2-1 Boise. If he does win, I'll give the KSU guys the 2-0 win.
All right.
Okay.
With that being said, we move on to San Antonio versus Texas A&M rematch from earlier in the season. UTSA took that one 2-1 in a
pretty decently close game. But A&M being back and scrimming, it's once again gonna be another really close game. A lot of 2-1s. Boomin making the big bold prediction, the 2-0.
I was gonna say I don't know where he's getting that 2-0 from.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
the only one predicting the 2-0. I will say impartially, it'll be a close series. They always play us close. From last semester going into the fall, going into winter, it's been close series all three seasons.
yeah, I just think that a big thing for A&M is just making sure they take it seriously and don't do what they do in 10 mans. With those comms, those comms are kind of wild. So
Hmm.
if they keep those clear, they're gonna have a better chance at winning. But Tango, what is your take here?
I can't go against Migs here. I mean, with the we talked about with inclusion of Rose, get another piece to work around. Ton is arguably top 5 player in collegiate. That man is filthy.
Facts.
And if you can get that roster going, you might need to bench someone, but I think they already took that Migs guy off that team.
They just
Mixed
had a
guy's
Uh,
washed.
Modelo.
Mixed
They
on
just had a
yeah,
washed.
Modelo.
okay, we talked about the top 5 player. That Migs guy might be like a bottom 5 player in
Oh,
collegiate. He's also down there
jeez.
with that.
Oh
He's also down there
gosh.
with that Tango Mango down guy.
Oh
So
my
I know
god.
I
how
think
he
he's even
feels.
lower.
Yeah, they can
There's a
make a
reason.
boomer squad together.
Oh
Yeah,
my,
there's a
the
reason why
boomer
they're called
squad.
coaches now. But no, I gotta pick those UTSA guys. I love the TAMU team, but UTSA has those impact players that you call on for those uh, playoff matches, and it should be a nice little 2-0 win for that UTSA team there.
Ooh, 2-0.
2-0.
It's a bold
Wow.
statement.
Ooh,
And then next
yeah,
we move
I'm
on to the
fucking serious.
CSULB in Montreal.
Yeah, looking at that team, the CSULB side obviously having the major advantage. Montreal not looking too hot after that L they took against uh, Virginia Tech, but Jam's just rolling with the Canadians today, man. He wants the Canadians. He has to represent for the country, so he's taking UDEM 2-1. But we'll really have to see because that's an East Coast West Coast matchup. That's going to be
That's gonna be tough. That
the
East
tale of
Coast
two
West
kings.
Coast. That is,
It also
especially
depends what time the match is, because if that's on a East Coast friendly time, yeah, that might catch the West Coasters kind of sleeping.
Yeah, but if that's on
yeah.
a West Coast friendly time, that's going to catch the UDEM boys literally sleeping.
Hard.
They might actually be sleeping. That's gonna be a tough one, but I think Montreal's gonna win. I think they're gonna bounce back. Once they figure out the roster issues, whatever that is. But
I mean, we always do forget that Samajo, they do have the greatest player ever to play collegiate on their
that's
team.
Straight
that.
facts.
Samajo he just hits different. Key member of Team Hard Breach.
Team
Uh,
Heartbreach showing out for these playoffs.
There's
yeah,
a, there's a reason why Tun's only a top 5 and not the top.
Straight
yeah,
facts.
that's why Tons on top because
Yeah.
Samajo is just hitting different. He plays with his eyes closed, hands cut off, and plays with his butt cheeks. So he kind of fat fingers a lot, but he gets it done. Uh,
He
really
presses
looking
F.
forward to that one. Tango, who do you got in that?
I don't know. You guys talked about the great things. I mean, see, it's these are 2 teams that have had great historic performances in the recent past seasons. With CSUOB winning Premier? No, Open.
No,
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 did
Premier
they won
Spring.
Premier?
Yep.
They won
Open Sound
Premier
Spring.
Spring, and then UDEM went on
Runners
a
up in
Cinderella
summer.
runners up in summer. They went on Cinderella runs also in the spring. But both rosters are incredibly changed um, over the years. But I gotta go with JM here. I gotta go with the UDEM boys. Those guys are absolutely filthy. They're not the same rosters like what we saw in the summer and the early fall. But that team almost made it to CAPL and CACL. They were always on the doorstep, and they couldn't get through. And you know what? They got punched in the mouth last week by Virginia Tech. But you know what? Sometimes your team needs that punch in the mouth, and it's always good to get that punch in the mouth on that last regular season
Mhm.
game, because then you're not getting punched in the mouth uh, during the playoffs. Cough, cough. UGA versus Akron.
Yeah, I definitely
I think agree. And big thing, CSU will be if Strike Young is brought in. I think that game is completely different. But depends. He hasn't played all season, so we have to see if he will be starting. But that moves us to probably what we believe, other than UTSA A&M, this game here, UWW Michigan Tech, will probably be the second most interesting to watch. As UWW team needs to prove themselves, Michigan Tech another team needs to prove themselves. A lot of fraggers on the UWW side, not so many on the MTU side, but MTU does have that experience and that commitment that they've had throughout the years. So that's going to help prepare. But UWW's got something to prove, and I think that they're gonna prevail in that matchup if they get if they get the right map bands, they play that right, and
I think that'll be a match of the week, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
More
I think so.
more than the A&M UTSA game. I think that will be the match of the week.
I think
Yeah.
so. We need to start getting match of the week predictions too going.
Yeah, this is just the meat of the heat, bro. This is getting the start because
You'll
here I'll post the bracket link for the squad. Tango, what is your prediction for that MTU UWW game?
I gotta go with my boys over UWW. That team, like we talked about before when we were going through the rankings, this matchup is two teams that are right at the doorstep of being of making their name in Premier. UWW, of course, got blocked out by getting Akron the second week of the fall, and Michigan Tech, of course, this is their first time in Premier. But given those past history, I gotta go with UWW here. That's a team that has the pieces needed to make a deep run, and we're seeing the bracket here on screen here, and they can do it. They're going to have a hard matchup against either Boise State or Kennesaw, the winner of the Boise State versus Kennesaw State, and then they'd have to go on and take on Texas Tech. But regardless, that's most likely the team that could make a run out of that matchup right there.
Yep. And this is what the bracket should look like for CR6 if it was played. CR6 bracket kind of doesn't look like this just yet on their sheets, but this is the bracket that I just created real quick for our podcast. But basically, this is how the bracket should go, and we'll be updating this weekly as we come back to you. Probably not next week, the week after, as there's basically a 2 week play period for everyone. This week in CR6 and Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that too. But this will be updated each week with the
Yes.
results of matches.
Yeah, these are some interesting matchups because it's winner of UTSA and A&M versus winner of CSULB and UDEM, and then the winner takes the biggest prize of the playoffs and plays Akron.
They play
Yep.
the Acorn, the
Basic.
Acorn. See if they can dethrone them and make a new CR6 champ.
Yeah, I'm honestly not gonna be surprised if Texas Tech is also a death stack like Akron. If they keep playing with that new guy, they
Yeah.
might just absolutely obliterate the competition. Purdue, they're a really good all around team. They have the consistency, they have the chemistry, they have everything that a good team takes. But with
Legs
that
take it
Tech
away.
team with a new member, that huge upgrade for them, that might be the difference in a close game and a not so close game for Purdue and Tech, as both teams are very strat heavy, well oriented overall, and that fourth man might just be the tipping point for a Tech needs to maybe get a shot at taking down Akron.
I will say Tech gets a good time to get together since they got this week, next week, and then one more week before they have to play. So they essentially
they-
have 3 weeks before they have to play next.
Yeah,
Because that'll give them time, and then that third week when they actually have to play a match, in my opinion, it won't be someone as tough as Purdue. Because any of these teams can still play Tech close, but it gives them a good practice match for actual potential Purdue matchup, an Akron matchup, or a UGA matchup.
Mhm.
Because Colorado got blown out by, or I want to say they got blown out by Akron in the CA invite matchup that they played. but that was also a while back. And if they're undergoing roster changes or if they're roster shuffling, I would take Akron over that. So it
Yeah.
gives Tech some time to build up their strengths from here there.
Hmm.
Yeah, we've been hearing rumors about Georgia where I did ask Juan a question about what is going to follow. So hopefully, Juan is
Indeed.
giving us a maybe as to if he will be playing Colorado. Be a very interesting match. Uh, so yes, they will actually. They said that they will probably play Colorado, so that looks good for Georgia. That I think they have an edge in that game as well. So
100%.
yeah, it's going to be interesting as also the winner of the Illinois St. Clair game will get another week of bye as you know the other teams have to catch up in the bracketing.
Hmm.
So a lot of prep there. Being a 6 and
Yeah.
15 seed somehow gives you some advantages.
Yes, so just losing Akron was the play.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got away from Akron. That's a win. So
That was probably the best part about looking at this bracket. Akron's on the other side. I'm like, hello.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna wait from afar.
I think every team here would probably would rather play Colorado, Georgia, Purdue than Tech,
Yeah.
and just not play Akron. They'd probably want to go through those four just to make it into the bracket and then have to take on Akron in a playoff situation.
Hmm.
But teams have given Akron scares. They
That is
are
true.
not. They can bleed, but no one's been able to slay them yet. And the team that slays them will be probably go down in history for being what might be the best college Rainbow Six team that we have seen.
They are the Mount Rushmore of Collegiate Siege.
And
All
the
three,
facts were
all three leagues consistently, if not winning it, close to
top
winning it.
two.
Yeah, they are the Mount Rushmore. They are the gold standard for Collegiate Siege. And it's not a thing that happened overnight. They've been like this consistently from the start.
That's facts. Shout out to Surma and Yareen for building that roster there and keeping IMAT under wraps somehow. Not getting him banned for hacking.
Shout out to
Yeah.
IMAT when he used to go by iSniff bus seats.
Yep.
Yep, he's
Where did he
crazy.
change his alt?
No, he still has that account on lock. He makes sure that name stays his. I played
Yeah,
against
that's
him the very first match of Collegiate Siege, and we were most
Yeah,
definitely
was one of our
sniffing
first ones.
bussies.
Bro, that's a goated name for a goated player right there.
Yeah, that team is definitely strong. But uh, with that, you gotta have some great responsibility there. You can't troll too hard.
Nope.
Uh, and you always gotta watch your back because teams are prepping, and I feel like when a team plays Akron, it's kind of like a community event, bonding together.
Facts.
To
Everyone's
everyone's
rooting
behind that
for
other
him.
team, no matter how much you love IMAT, Hennessy, JetCon, Surma, and Arv. You always kind of need to root against them because they're like the Alabama of
Collegiate
college
Siege.
rainbow. In the end of the day, everyone still loves the Akron boys, but whenever it comes match time, you always kind of hope to see a team works them hard enough to the point where they have to sweat a little bit.
Yep.
Uh,
A little David
but
and
keep them
Goliath kind
tested.
of story.
Yeah, and I think honestly in this upcoming season with Simon Fraser being back, uh, you might see another powerhouse rising to outweigh them and join the Akron and Tech combo up there.
Yep. I
That
agree.
that's it for me this week. I don't have much other notes. Mister
Me either.
Mister Tango Spango.
No, I'm all out, boys. This has been a great night. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in as we talked about those rankings. I think this has been amazing. Migs, thank you so much for having me on the show. JM Snail, great work as always, boys. This has been amazing.
Yep, and we will see you guys back in 2 weeks. As next week, there's really no need for new rankings,
Yeah,
as
there won't
no
be
matches
much.
go down. And well, we'll
Make
see
sure
you
you
then.
follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
We
Not
will
everyone but Tango.
we will be tweeting out the bracket, or not the
They've been
bracket,
tweeted.
the rankings. They've been tweeted out
Yep.
as per Snail and predictions. Be sure to
Yep.
follow us on Twitter to keep posted. So when we do be going live or when we be posting the updates, we will be posting polls soon. TM Once,
Yeah,
so
for
we can get the community's input, so we can take them into account for the casts. And then if you're watching on YouTube, please sure to be liking and subscribing. It does benefit us
Migs.
for smiley faces and potential
Modelo
surprises
sponsorships.
surprises up the way. Yeah, use promo code MIGS at checkout, get you 0% off of your next Modelo purchase. But thank you guys. That was it for week 4 of the Dirt Report.